In this video, we will show you how to replace your starter on this Jeep Patriot with a 2.4-liter engine. This will be located along the front of your engine compartment. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. Before removing the starter, we need to start by disconnecting our negative battery terminal. To gain access to the battery, we're going to remove our air inlet tube. Along the forward portion of the air inlet tube, you're going to find that you have two plastic clips. You can take hold of those, give them a quarter turn counterclockwise. After that, you should be able to lift this up and we'll slide it straight forward and away. That exposes our negative battery terminal. Use a 10mm to loosen the mounting nut just enough that you can remove the terminal end from the battery. Moving straight rearward from there, we're going to disconnect our air temp sensor. For this, you're going to find that you have a red locking tab. We'll have to dislodge that, and then we can make our way right along here. We'll squeeze this in and pull this out of place. A quick inspection for corrosion. We'll set that aside. Now we're using an 8mm or flathead screwdriver for this clamp so we can loosen the air inlet tube between the air filter housing and the throttle body. We're attempting to break this free, but we can't remove it yet. Let's continue on down inside this area. We're going to follow the inlet tube down towards the throttle body. Now if you were looking all the way down in this area, as you follow it down, you can see that there's a small tip of plastic. If you were looking along the rearward side of that, you're going to find that there's actually a wiring harness attached to it. So we're going to go ahead and press this out and through towards the rear. I'm just going to use a pry bar for this. It's easiest to make my way down in there. There we are. Continuing on, we're going to follow that air inlet all the way towards the throttle body. We have another 8mm headed clamp. Once again, you can also use a flathead screwdriver if necessary. We're only loosening it enough that we can remove this tube from the throttle body. Up along the top, we're going to separate this from the air filter housing. Now we should be able to twist this and lift it up and out of position. You may have to flex that upper radiator hose a little bit. There it is. Just a quick inspection and we'll set that aside. Now we're going to look all the way down in this area. This is where we can see our electronic throttle body. One important note about this throttle body is you never want to reach inside and push on that valve in any way. You will cause damage. Let's continue on down along the bottom corner of the throttle body. In this area, we have our electrical connector. This has two locking tabs, one along the top, one on the bottom. Squeeze them in, pull it out of place. Quick inspection for corrosion and set that aside. There's that. That looks good as well. With that out of the way, we can see the starter, but we still have to remove our throttle body. After disconnecting the electrical connector, the next thing we want to do is pay attention to our mounting hardware. As far as the throttle body to the intake itself, you're going to find that you have four 10mm headed mounting bolts. As you make your way towards the engine though, you're going to find that you also have a 13mm mounting bolt here, which holds this bracket from the transmission to your throttle body. We're going to start with that mounting bolt first. Once we have that removed, we can continue on to the other four 10mm mounting bolts. It's time for the 10mm headed mounting bolts. We'll start with the ones for the bracket. Take hold of that bracket. We'll remove that, just a quick inspection, and we can set it aside. It's time for the next two mounting bolts. Keep in mind, these are the last things holding this in place. We do not want it to fall and potentially get damaged. For this mounting bolt, we're going to loosen it, but leave it in just a couple threads while we fully remove our final mounting bolt. All four of these 10mm bolts should look exactly the same. You do not need to worry about mixing them up. We'll hold on to the throttle body as we remove that mounting bolt. Carefully remove the throttle body. It's time to start removing the starter from the transmission. For this, you're going to find that you have two 15mm headed mounting bolts holding it in place, coming through from the driver's side of the transmission housing, bolting into the starter itself. You can see one up top, it has a ground wire, and then just down in this area there's a second 15mm bolt. I'm going to start with the top bolt. We'll fully loosen it, a quick inspection, start it back in a couple threads. At this point, we can remove the ground wire. You want to give that a close inspection. You will be cleaning each side of that terminal end. You want to use some fine sandpaper. Just go ahead and set that aside for now. Let's start that bolt back in. Now it's time for the second mounting bolt. Continuing on, as we remove that final mounting bolt, we're going to start removing the starter, but keep in mind you do still have wiring leading to it. We do not want to cause any damage. Just going to try to break this free first. It's common to be stuck in place. Once you do have some movement, we can go ahead and remove that bolt. Now once you have the starter turned, so you have access to the wiring harnesses, you're going to find that we have one wiring harness leading here. And then here, if you were to remove the 13mm nut, you're going to find that it actually has two wiring harnesses leading to it. So we need to pay attention to that. For this smaller one, you're going to find that it has a locking tab. You just want to go ahead and squeeze in on that. You should be able to lift it up and out of place. Right along here is where that locking tab is. You can see it stands out. A quick inspection for corrosion, of course. There's our 13mm for this. Start pulling these off of here. Be careful not to let your starter fall down. Okay. So there they are. Of course, we're going to clean both sides of these as well. Set those aside so we can remove the starter. There it is, friend. Now, as I mentioned during the removal process, we are going to have to clean each one of the terminal ends on those wires. For this, I'm just using some fine sandpaper. Just clean both sides. We want to have a good contact point. That looks good. Do the same for all. Those two are good. The black wire is our ground wire. This is the one that was held to the transmission. Now, after cleaning all those, I like to give this wire a thorough inspection. If you see any corrosion, it needs to be dealt with. That wire looks fine. Now we're going to pay attention all the way down at the bottom there. We can see that orange circle, that's a gasket. Typically, it's a good idea to replace the throttle body gasket in this area. At minimum, you need to remove it, clean the area, and make sure that the gasket itself is good. After that, we can just reinsert it. There's our O-ring. I'm just going to give this a quick wipe all the way around. Soft and pliable, not torn or worn. This one is reusable. If yours is damaged, it needs to be replaced. I'm going to set this aside temporarily. We'll continue cleaning. Now, when cleaning this, we want to make sure that we clean the port where our sealing ring goes. But also, if you look inside the intake there, if you see any debris, just go ahead and give it a quick wipe. We're trying to pull it out and away, not pushing anything in. Okay, there's our sealing ring. When cleaning the intake, you never want to use any type of detergent. A clean rag will do. Now it's time to install the throttle body gasket. Just get this in place with its circular port. Once it's aligned, you should be able to carefully press it in. Just run your finger all the way around, gently pressing it in. It needs to be completely seated. If it's out in any way, it can cause an issue. Now let's clean the mounting port where our starter will be mounted. Just make sure there's no damage. Everything looks good. Okay, friend, it's time to install the brand new starter. We're going to get this down inside the engine compartment low enough that we can install our wiring harnesses. Just try to rest this down there. We don't want to let it fall. Now, when we go to install these two power wires here, we want to make sure we have them stacked in the proper positioning here. You're going to find that they can really only go one way. And of course, we do want to make sure those are the power wires and not the ground wire. We do not want to attach a ground wire to a power wire. Should be able to flex things as necessary here. We can get this in position. Press that on there as far as possible. With your brand new starter, you're going to find that it comes with a locking washer and a brand new nut. That's what we're going to use. Start with the locking washer, start on the mounting nut. After you have everything properly in place, you can snug this up. The torque for that would be 90 inch-pounds. There's our locking washer. Torque wrench. Can be difficult to torque this. You essentially just want to make sure it's nice and snug. There we are. Now we have the larger two power wires in place. Let's continue on to our small wiring harness in the same area. For this one, just go ahead and line it up, press it in. Tighten that one up, press it on. Just a light tug. With the wiring harnesses attached, let's go ahead and get this in position. Once you bring this into position, we're going to start in our lower mounting bolt first. Once you have that one started in, continue on to the upper mounting bolt. This one also has the ground wire as well. Next mounting bolt, I'm sliding it through my ground wire here. We'll get this in position. Once both of your bolts are started in, you can continue on to snugging them up. The torque for these is 40 foot-pounds. Torque wrench on here. Now it's time to install our throttle body. First, we want to make sure there's no miscellaneous debris inside this port. Once again, never push on that butterfly valve. You will cause damage. If you do need to clean this, you could use a clean rag. You just want to be extremely careful. Along the back side is typically where you're going to find the most debris. Let's go ahead and get this in place. As we bring the starter in place, we're going to start the two forward mounting bolts in first. Now we're not tightening anything yet. Let's continue on to installing the mounting bracket, our next two 10mm bolts, and then we'll continue on to the last mounting bolt over on the transmission housing. All four of those are started in. Let's continue on to our 13mm mounting bolt. After they're all started in, we can start snugging them. We're going to start with the throttle body first. The 10mm headed mounting bolts for the throttle body will be torqued to 80 inch-pounds. When we snug and torque, we want to do it in a crisscross manner. Now it's time for the 13mm headed mounting bolt. Snug it, torque that to 18 foot-pounds. Move along to reconnecting your electrical connector. Line it up, press it in. Listen for a click, a light tug confirming it's secure. Now it's time to insert our air intake tube. We want to make sure that we have this in the proper orientation. Up along the top is where our air temp sensor is going to be located. Down along the bottom, we of course have our clamp where it connects to that throttle body. And then located just above it, you have one small port for your wiring harness to be mounted to. Let's start bringing this down into position. We're starting down near that throttle body. Once you feel as though you have it properly aligned, press it onto the throttle body as far as you can, and then we'll snug the clamp. Now I have this pressed onto the throttle body as far as possible. I'm going to continue on with snugging my lower clamp. Once you have that snug, you want to try to remove it from the throttle body. It should not be able to slide out of place. With that connected to the throttle body, we're going to follow the wiring harness to its securing point in this area. We want to make sure that we press that in. Just double check, make sure that's secure. We don't want that getting loose and getting damaged. Let's continue all the way up along the top next. We'll carefully flex this tube, slide it onto the air filter housing, press it on there as far as possible, and snug that clamp. Now we're going to reconnect our air temp sensor. Let's go ahead and line it up, we'll press it in. Listen for a click from that. Red locking tab. Now we're in this area. Reconnect your negative battery terminal. We're pressing that onto the battery as far as possible. Tighten your 10mm mounting nut. It's bottomed out. Just take it a tiny bit further. Make sure there's no movement. It's time for our next air inlet tube. This is going to go into the air filter housing and we'll swing the rest down into its mounting position. Slide that in there. Okay friend, we finished the installation of our vehicle starter. The next thing you want to do is hop in the passenger compartment and attempt to start the vehicle several times, confirming the starter functions as it should. Once you have the vehicle running, you can go ahead and close the hood, take your vehicle for a road test. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.